What's up, world? This is your guy, Guitar K, and today we're going to be talking about gratitude, man. We're going to be talking about having an attitude of gratitude. Y'all remember back in 1981? I remember a little bit. I was probably like 4 years old. It was a song by Miss Alicia Myers, and it go a little something like this. I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for shining your light on me. Look, man. Be grateful that you're alive today. Be grateful that you got an opportunity to receive new blessings, man. That's what we're talking about. Having an attitude of gratitude. But before we get into the whole meat and potatoes of what we're going to do, we're going to look at the definition of gratitude. Because you know what I always say. You will ask somebody, what does something mean? And they'll tell you what they think it means. But let's look at what it really means. Gratitude. The quality of being thankful. Readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. Okay, with that definition of gratitude, man, are you ready to show kindness? I believe that gratitude is an action thing. Because, you know, somebody could say that they're grateful, but the whole time they're not displaying the behaviors. They're not showing that they're grateful. You remember back in the day, like your grandmother would give you something and you'd be like, and you'll look like not too happy. She'd be like, you better be grateful that you got anything at all. That's what I'm talking about, man. Displaying an attitude of gratitude. Like I said, when you're showing gratitude, you're not going to really have too much complaining to do. You're not going to really be doing too much whining. You're not going to be really doing too much judging or looking what other people are doing. Because you're going to be grateful for what you have. You're going to be grateful for your life and your blessings. Look, man, and like I said, it's not just about saying it. Because at the end of the day, you could talk about being grateful all day. But if it's not in your actions, if it's not in behaviors, what good is it? Nothing. Check this out, man. When you open your heart and your mind to gratitude, you start, being appreciative for what you have. You stop, you don't covet what other people have. You stop chasing what the world offers, and you start appreciating what God gives you. You start relying on your gifts and your talents, and your life becomes a lot better because you're grateful. When you're grateful, I'm telling you, you be less depressed. You have less anxiety. You just have less troubles all the way around because you're not chasing, you're not running head first into trouble all the time because you learn to be content. You learn to sit still when you're grateful, practicing an attitude of gratitude. When you go into any type of grief counseling or substance abuse counseling or anger management, one of the first things they tell you to do is make a gratitude list. How do I know this? Because I've been through all of these things numerous times. One of the first things they tell you to do is make a gratitude list. Because when you can remember the things that you're grateful for, the problems of the world don't seem as heavy. Now, I'm not going to say that it don't still be problems, that we don't still go through things, because we do. Every day you go through something. My grandmother used to always say, at the end of the day, you either heading into a storm, you're in the middle of a storm, or you're just coming out of one. But when you learn to be grateful, you can weather that storm a little bit better. Because at the end of the day, it's always something to be grateful for. If it ain't nothing but that you just still breathing God's air, that is enough to be grateful just to sustain you in the middle of that storm. And yesterday, our reading and recovery out of the Just for the Day book just happened to be on gratitude. So that kind of sparked me off to make this video. And I don't do just make a gratitude list. What I do is I got this gratitude jar here. And she reminded me that I hadn't put nothing in it for a minute. Not let alone added something to my list, but I hadn't put nothing in my gratitude jar. So I'm going to share something with y'all out of my gratitude jar just before I add something to it. I'm also going to add something to it real quick. So it's just two little things I poured out here. Normally I'll pull something out here every couple of days and I'll read it to myself just to remind myself of something that I'm grateful for. Because sometimes like the problems of this world and the negative opinions of other people will knock you off your pivot and make you forget that it is some things that you could be grateful for and that it ain't so bad, man. So the first one I poured out here, it says self-control. This is something I talk about all the time, man. I'm grateful for my self-control today. Because back in the day, I didn't have a lot of self-control. I used to let the opinions of others kind of sway me into doing things. I used to let, what I see on TV influence me, what I used to see on the videos influence me. I thought I always wasn't enough. I thought I always needed more. And it made me kind of sway away from all the stuff that my grandmother taught me. And, she used to tell me, like, you see those boys over there on the corner? Don't you go over there hanging on them boys with the corner. But when I watched the videos and I seen all the dudes that had the nice rims and nice clothes and all of that, and then I seen that the boys on the corner had the nice clothes and the nice rims and all of that, I kind of didn't listen to my grandmother. I went over there and started hanging with them boys, and it got me in trouble is what it did. One of the scriptures that she used to always give me, I think it was 1 Corinthians 13:33. It said that bad association spoils useful habits. And I'm going to tell you, man, those gentlemen that was on the corner, I ain't judging them. I ain't knocking them. But they were bad association for me. And they spoiled a lot of the good, useful habits that my grandmother gave me. And it ended me up in a lot of places that I didn't ever want to go to. So, again, I'm grateful for the self-control that I have today, that I don't be hanging on the corner with the boys no more. That's some self-control, man. Another one, it says inner work. I do a lot of work on myself today. I do a lot of work on my character, on my spirit, because I guess at the end of the day, it all comes down to integrity. And inner work, that's working on the stuff that people can't see. I used to only worry about the outside. Long as the outside looked good, long as I looked like I was doing good, I thought I was doing good. But today I realize that it's more about working on the inside. Now, you might not be able to see my inside. But at the end of the day, it don't matter what y'all see. It matters how I feel. It matters how I think about me. That's what at the end of the day. And that always goes back to, like I said, growing up. I didn't feel good about myself on the inside. So I thought that I needed to, make my outside look good, and making my outside look good will make my inside feel good. But at the end of the day, that type of thinking never worked for me. So today I do inner work. I work on making myself feel good on the inside, and it just happens to show on the outside. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about the outside. I'm worried about the inside. So I always keep these little papers right here next to my gratitude jar. I keep my black Sharpie. I only write, in black Sharpie and put stuff in there. So today, I'm going to say that I'm grateful that yesterday's Just for Today was about gratitude. And it reminded me to get back to writing down things that's grateful, man. So I guess at the end of the day, I'm just saying that I'm grateful to remember to have an attitude of gratitude. And that's just all I'm going to write, to remember to have an attitude of gratitude. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, man. How many of y'all out there practice gratitude daily, man? And I mean really practice it, not just saying it. Because, at the end of the day, we'll say something and we'll act like we're doing it. But in a show, when something pop up, like soon as something don't go our way, it's easy to have an attitude of gratitude when everything going your way, everything going smooth. You're getting this working out. But soon as one little thing happens, one little thing don't go your way, now all of a sudden you want to flip the whole room over. Now all of a sudden you want to cuss and fuck. You want to whine and complain. And you'll say something crazy like, oh man, nothing don't never work out with me. I don't never get nothing. I don't never do nothing. That's not practicing the attitude of gratitude. Having the attitude of gratitude, that's when you can still rely on, okay, this one thing didn't work out, but I still got this whole jar of stuff here, or this whole list of stuff here to be grateful for. So I ain't going to, flip the whole room. I ain't going to go crazy, because at the end of the day, I'm not expecting everything to work out for me. God has blessed me with a whole bunch of things to be grateful for, so I'm not going to expect for everything to work out for me today. It's a song by the Rolling Stones. It's called You Can't Always Get What You Want, but if you try sometimes, you just might get what you need, man. Put in the work. And sometimes things will work out for you, but at the end of the day, it's not always going to work out for you. But when you practice an attitude of gratitude, when it don't work out for you, it don't seem as bad. You might don't cry and whine and complain as much like I used to do. Every time something didn't go right for me, I wanted to whine and cry and complain, act crazy, act like a spoiled baby. Even in my 30s and 40s, I'm still acting like a spoiled baby when something ain't go my way. But not today, because I practice the attitude of gratitude, man. Look, real gratitude, it'll keep you motivated. It'll keep you going. It'll give you a sense of passion and purpose because you know your why. Gratitude gives you your why, because I'm grateful for this stuff. I don't want to lose what I had today. Back in the day, I was willing to risk it all for what? For just to gain more. It was like greed. It was like lust. It was I risk one relationship because I wanted this girl. I risk this money and stuff that I already got because I want more money. But not today. because I'm grateful for the things that I have today. I'm not willing to risk it. You know that one saying they used to say, like what was it? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Look, man, I ain't chasing them birds in the bushes no more. I'm grateful for the bird that I got in my hand today, and I ain't letting it go for nothing, man. Gratitude gets the job done. Gratitude is one of the best things that you can practice today. Gratitude to keep you out of trouble. I'm grateful for my freedom today. I ain't risking it. Gratitude to help you sleep good at night. Because I ain't out here doing nothing crazy. I ain't out here risking my freedom. I ain't out here risking my safety, man. Look, practice an attitude of gratitude. This is your guy, Guitar K. Be more